Hey, what's up guys, BlackwingKei here with another Genshin Impact video. Well, kinda, sorta, again. So I literally just got done recording that other video that you probably saw already, or if you didn't see it, I'll leave a card somewhere up here or whatever direction it actually appears. It was basically talking about my version 2.1 predictions. Now I'm not sure if this is actually coming out before version 2.1 trailer drops, but yeah, I basically went on a long video. I do apologize about that again, but predictions of what to expect in the version 2.1, events, who's doing the live stream, and I basically went on a whole tangent, of course, of my gacha game experience and why I'm not really, I'm not sure what to expect on the 1-year anniversary for Genshin Impact, which is coming up in version 2.1. This video is a little differently, and I hope that this video doesn't turn out to be as long as the other one. Really, I want to just keep this nice and short and sweet so that you get the idea of what I'm talking about. What is it exactly that I'm going to be talking about? Well, it's the banners, the character banners, the limited banners, not the standard banner, not the weapons banner. Who cares about that? We're talking about the limited 5-star character banners. There is something that I noticed about it, and I do want you all to correct me on this, because if this ends up being wrong, then this whole, I guess you could say, quote-unquote theory is wrong, right? Like, it will be debunked immediately. So I'm counting on you guys to let me know in the comments down below after you listen to what I have to say, if I'm right or wrong, or is there something else that's really involved in regards to this. So yeah, character banners. Who was the first 5-star character that we got in Genshin Impact when it officially released? Not the beta, not the closed beta, not the alpha, the gamma, the delta. We're talking about when the game came out on September 26, 2020. What was the first 5-star character? We had Venti. Then we had Klee right after that. Then we had Tartaglia, if I'm not mistaken. Then we had Zhongli. Then, after Zhongli, we had Albedo. Then, after the mysterious Albedo, which has some really spicy stories, like this guy, Albedo is like the lore king right now. There's a lot behind him that we need to talk about, but you know, let's move on. After Albedo, who did we get? We got the beautiful Ganyu. We cannot forget about Ganyu, right? In version 1.3 is where things started to get a little different. We got 3 characters in one version, and they've never done that since then, because it was really like, I don't know why they did that, and I hope they never do that again, but we got 3 characters in version 1.3 for the Lantern Rite Festival. We got Xiao, we got Keqing, and we got Wu Tao. Following right after that, version 1.4 was the Windbloom Festival, but strangely enough, we had 2 rerun banners, with only 1 new character making an appearance in another rerun banner. So we had Venti rerun banner, and I'm like, really? I just want to see new characters. So this is the part where this is what's considered to me like the filler saga of Genshin Impact, where now we started just seeing rerun banner after rerun banner, and I'm like, come on, at least give us something new. Tartaglia, why did we have to have a rerun banner of him? Like, it makes no sense. They could have given us any other character, but I guess they just had to bring him out. Like, who could we pair up easily with Rosaria? I just put in Child. I mean, look, the developers said they had a lot of fun creating Child and his unique playstyle, and I do appreciate that, but I just don't appreciate too much rerun banners. So yeah, version 1.4 brought us the return of the Animal Archon, Venti, and then we had the return of the Fatui Harbinger, Tartaglia. Version 1.4 also introduced us to Dainsleif, which was basically like a prologue to the conclusion of Chapter 1. Version 1.5 is where things really picked up, in my opinion. We had the Zhongli rerun banner. Now this one I didn't mind. Again, I skipped that banner because I already had Zhongli, but I did pull a bit to build up pity to get Yanfei, because Yanfei was the new character introduced in that storyline, or rather into the game, but you know what I mean. Version 1.5 introduced us to Act 2, yeah, the continuation of Zhongli's storyline. So after we get to complete the Archon quest, the Liyue storyline, we get to do the Salt God story of Zhongli. We get to learn about the Salt Gods. You know, there was many gods into that, and the Salt God was one of them. So we got to learn a bit more of lore, of what happened, why the Salt God perished, and, you know, all that good stuff. That nice and juicy lore that I love so much. So this time, the Zhongli rerun banner actually makes sense, and I didn't mind it so much because we got a continuation of the story, which I really did appreciate. So we got to learn more about the... Wait, hold on. I think I made a mistake. I'm, like, not too sure when the events took place, but I think it was at the end of 1.3 where we got the prologue to the end of Chapter 1, where we get to meet Dainsleif. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm actually pretty lost on this because 1.4 should have been where we did the We Are Reunited. All right, apologies. I had to double check real quick. So yeah, It was in version 1.3 where we got the prologue to the end of chapter 1 where we met Dainsley for the first time. That I was really off of, I'm sorry for confusing you guys here, so I just wanted to correct myself. It was version 1.3 where we met Dainsley for the first time, right at the end. Then in version 1.4, we finally got to do the quest, and during the Windbloom Festival, we were reunited, but it was at the end. It was like kind of like after the Windbloom Festival was over. Then we saw Dainsley again, and we got to learn all that history about Conria and the fight against the Abyss Herald, the Hydra one. That happens in 1.4. So now let's move on again. I'm talking about banners here, but I just wanted to, place key moments that happened in each version update and when the banners came out. Back to 1.5. Version 1.5 brought us Zhongli, Rerun, and then Eula. But in the Zhongli Rerun banner, we also got Yanfei, the Adeptus Pyro Catalyst user. So again, I enjoyed this version update a lot because we got an expansion on Zhongli's story and we got to confront him about our sibling and the truth about Conria. But not to our surprise, of course he couldn't tell us anything because apparently it was a contract he had signed before even the events took place. So that actually, I want to put a little footnote there. So at first I thought that it was a contract that he had made after the fact. But no, it was before the fact, so he knew it was gonna happen, and he was told, like, look, this is gonna happen. You're a god of contracts, right? Don't say a thing about this. This is what's gonna go down, this is gonna happen, and I'm not sure how the future is gonna be affected. I don't know, I really don't know what the decision was, why they went into the Conria to destroy it, the nation without a god. Really still covered in mystery. But Zhongli couldn't say anything because he made a contract before the fact, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. So his stance on this could still be a bit gray, where it's like, man, we're really gonna go through with that? Yikes. I guess we're doing this because we're the 7 archons and we do things together, but after that they kind of just separated their own ideals and whatnot. So just wanted to put your attention on that. Then we got the elegant Eula, and a lot of things for me changed after Eula came out, and it's something that just opened my eyes because since then I have not really spent a dime on the game. It was something that I realized, even though I didn't know this before, but I said, you know what, was it worth it really just spending to get Eula? I never even got her weapon. I did not fall into that banner and whatnot. I didn't want to do it, so that's for another video, for another time. Version 1.6, the end of the 1 series of Genshin Impact, brought us a rerun of Klee, which was very much appreciated to many people, so a lot more people can actually, experience Klee and how amazing she actually is. Again, I started playing Genshin Impact when Klee was first around in her banner. I never got to play with Venti's banner. I was only playing when Klee's banner was out, but I wasn't spending money. My first 5-star was actually Chi-Chi, which a lot of you may already know that, and then finally, after so many wishes later, I finally got Klee. It was the best day of my life, and from there, it was smooth sailings. And the second banner of 1.6, we got our first Inazuman character, Kaedehara Kazuha. And I did a whole video about him, if you didn't know that. I'll probably have like a little thumbnail here of when I did do that video, of will he ever come back to Inazuma, what his future in Inazuma will be, or what he's gonna do after that whole interaction we had with him. Or basically, it was things based off of the trailer that I saw before I played Chapter 2 Prologue. Now, if you've already played through the Chapter 2 Archon quest, and you're up to date, you know what happens to Kazuha in Inazuma, so yeah. Alright, so I'm a bit like over 10 minutes into this video, and I still haven't gotten to the point. I just really wanted to refresh your memory of the banner characters we've gotten from then until now. So version 2.1 is literally on the horizon. It's about to come out. If you're watching this after the fact, well, let me know down in the comments down below what you thought as well. So this is the point that I'm trying to get across here. What did you point out in the banners right now? Like, I'll give you a couple of seconds. What did you just realize with all the characters I named and their relation in the story and their relation to the Traveler in Genshin Impact in the world of Teyvat? What did you just notice from all the characters I named? I'll give you to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you get it? Okay, it's fine. It's fine if you didn't get it. If you did, yes, you're on the same page as me. So, what these banners have in common and how they relate to the story is that all of the characters we've gotten, now there's one character that's technically in the gray area, but technically he's not. If you have played his story and you know a lot about him, then you know he's not He's technically not in the gray area while still being in that gray area. So what do they have in common? What do they have in common? All of the characters that have come out in the banners do not have a direct conflict with us. Venti, we got to find out he was the animal god, but he was a free spirit. He helped us out a lot. It seems that he does care for the people of Mondstadt, and he loves the idea of freedom in general, and that's why he loves that the people are inspired by this and, you know, live in the nation of freedom. Mondstadt. Klee is a wonderful child, you know, also a free spirit. It makes so much sense that she is from Mondstadt and she is growing up there. And, you know, her mother, Alice, wants her to be, you know, very free and open world and be able to go out there and whatnot. So, yeah, all these characters that have come out in the past, for the exception of Tartaglia, have been in direct, they have not been in conflict with us. You know, they've either been helping us or they've been friendly with us, and this includes the 4-star characters too. We have not had a single, well, except for some characters that we actually don't know about yet since they haven't been introduced into the story canonically. Xinyan hasn't been introduced in the story. I guess as of right now, I can mention Sayu has technically not been introduced to the story either, but we do know that she's not evil. We kind of do get to see a bit of her character and her personality, so she's not evil, she's not talking bad about the Traveler. So that's really the message I wanted to put out there, that these banners, what they have in common in the order they've been releasing is that the Traveler has not been in conflict with said character, except for Tartaglia, the Fatui Harbinger. Child doesn't approach us with that malice or, you know, that hatred or just being in general conflict. Like La Senora, we know what she did, so we're all automatically on guard. And technically we were on guard with Child as well, but you know, he came on to us easy. He said, hey, don't worry about it. I just want to talk. I just want to be friends. When in reality, you know, he was just trying to get more information out of you to find out what happened to the Archon. Is he really dead, or he's having his doubts, and he has you go on these little side missions as well while he's secretly plotting behind the scenes trying to figure out some more. Because even he didn't know that Rex Lapis Morax was actually Zhongli, the living legend himself, walking in the streets, you know, pretending to be a normal person. But then you play through his story quest, and I feel like I got to learn more about him, and this is really where I stamped down on my decision to say that not all Fatui are bad. Again, it's like you have people in general. You have your good apples, the good people, you have your bad apples, the bad people. The Fatui are just like that. There's a bunch of normal people. They're not all out there to kill you or world domination, and you know, they do follow the Tsaritsa, they do follow the ideals, and this is something that I want to touch upon as well in Inazuma, as there's a bunch of regular people that, to my surprise, I didn't expect them to actually stand with the ideals of the Raiden Shogun. People there are praising the Electro Archon, the Shrine Maidens. There's a history there that we yet don't know about, but I was very surprised. I thought it was going to be more of a hostile country. Nobody was going to like the Electro Archon because they're all trapped and whatnot. But people have different opinions. And that's just something that I caught on to while traveling in Inazuma and learning more of the story. So once again, to bring you back on topic, not all the Fatui are bad. If you play through Tartaglia's story quest, you get to travel around with his younger brother, Tusser. I believe that was his name, right? Tusser. So Tusser is a very... He's a free-spirited child as well, I guess you would say, as he got the wonderful idea to stow away on a boat that just happened to be going to Liyue, and he managed to land there because his brother was in Liyue Harbor. So he just, I don't know, he could have gone anywhere else in the world, honestly. This kid is crazy, but I guess by the animal's will, I'm sorry, by the Archon's will, he actually made it to Liyue Harbor and was looking for his brother, who's apparently a toy seller, when he actually doesn't know that it's actually, he's a Fatui Harbinger, and I guess the Fatui Harbingers already into that have a bad name to them. Like, people would know them. Like, even in the beginning, the prologue story, Diluc already knew about the Fatui and the Harbingers. That's how he kind of knew that Senora was already a Mondstadt, and saying like, oh, number 8 of the Fatui Harbingers, Senora, they're not good people. We shouldn't mingle with them and whatnot. So the Fatui Harbingers already have a reputation. But again, delving into his character story quest, we get to learn more about him, his family situation, and it makes you feel for that character. Honestly, I'm a little scared for Tartaglia. I hope that he doesn't perish in the future because he continues to follow the ideals of the Tsaritsa. We do know that the Cryo Archon, the Tsaritsa, has given the Fatui Harbingers exceptional power to almost combat an Archon themselves. If I'm understanding that correctly, they have exceptional power that a normal vision wielder wouldn't really compare up to, except for the Traveler, I guess, right? So once again, to get back on topic with this video, what I'm trying to get is that what to expect on the future banners of the future characters. Tartaglia was the only one that we technically were in conflict with, but it was kind of self-resolved, and we don't hold that resentment towards him after learning about his family and that he's generally a good person. We care about him. The game is making us care about him, despite being a Fatui Harbinger. So what does that speak for the future of the game? Because we know that a lot of other Harbingers are out there, and, you know, Scaramouche, although he was introduced in an event, it technically shouldn't count yet, but he's out to get us. Senora is not our friend. She doesn't look like she's going to be friendly towards us in the near future. So now the next banners that are coming out. Sangonomiya Kokomi, I think, is the one that's coming out in 2.1. I don't know yet, but she's more friendly towards us. So her coming out in the next banner, I can totally see that happening. The Electro Archon, this is what I wanted to point out. And I did have another video idea to put it out there, but I guess I can include it here as well. It's how are we going to pacify the Electro Archon? I could go in many different directions here in what to talk about, because it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. The Electro Archon has to be pacified in some way in order for her to at least join our party, you know, for us to roll for her, because we're gonna have to get a character story quest. Obviously, we're gonna get a character story quest for the Electro Archon, but I don't see how they could incorporate that if we're still in direct conflict with them. It would be very interesting, a very interesting direction to take it if we do get to do that. But I'm honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. How exactly are we going to pacify? That's what it is. That's like the theme of that I want to find out. How to pacify an Archon. What's going to happen? Is the Archon perhaps under control by some mysterious force we don't know about, and that's why she's acting all crazy, pursuing eternity? That, I don't think so. It's not highly likely, as if you've played through some of the world quests already, you get to learn that the Electro Archon, Raiden Shogun, actually has she's deep-rooted in Inazuma's history, especially with the Kitsune Saigu being a very close familiar, I guess you would say, of the Electro Archon, as that was heavily implied, that the Kitsune Saigu was the, or actually Yayamiko was the familiar of the Kitsune Saigu and whatnot, you know, the familiars of the great fox spirit, Kitsune Saigu. So the Electro Archon is deeply rooted in the history of Inazuma, so I highly doubt that somebody's just controlling her to pursue eternity. My prediction was that the reason she's pursuing eternity, or the eternal euthymia, which is basically the eternal peace, the eternal calm, a state of calm. That's what euthymia means. I looked it up a while ago and I found out what that means. So it's the immovable god and the eternal euthymia, so the eternal calm. So Inazuma is supposed to be the place where it's just constant calm, no turmoil, and nothing too crazy going on, but obviously that's not what's going on. The country is currently at war. All right, real quick before we continue, I totally forgot about the prediction I was gonna make. So basically, my prediction was that the Electro Archon knew something that was gonna happen, or, you know, she was involved in what happened 500 years ago in Conria, but she knows something else, maybe related to the secret sky, the false sky, I think it was called, something. I'm honestly not too sure, but definitely the Electro Archon has more information that she's letting on, and that's the reason that she's going forward with, you know, the eternal euthymia, the eternal peace, the eternal calm. She is going towards eternity for the reason that she knows something is coming. So that was really my prediction that I forgot to add in this video. I'm really ashamed of that, but yeah, that's all that is. Let's continue with the video. It's really funny too, because I only started thinking about this like a few weeks back. I'm like, man, this is the first time we're actually in conflict, in direct conflict with an Archon, the Electro Archon now. So how exactly are they going to come into our party? The main relation I was trying to put together is that when we pull for characters, is because they're joining us in an adventure, you know, then we get to put them in our teapot. So there's no conflict there. You know, Bennett is a good boy, Ray's is a good boy, Klee is precious, Diona is cute, Chi-Chi's a zombie. Look, we don't have any conflict with all these characters, you know? What I'm trying to see is that how the future is going to happen. How are we going to pacify the Electro Archon? Something major is going to happen in 2.1, I believe. I still believe the story of Inazuma should conclude in 2.2, but expect something major to happen to turn the tides in 2.1, where I guess we're going to have a common enemy, and finally the Electro Archon is going to open up to us. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but the Electro Archon has to be pacified before we actually get to roll for her. I don't know if she's going to be the first banner or the second banner, but she's definitely going to come to us. in the near future. So that's just what I've been thinking about. It's how to pacify the immovable god. So at this point in time, I'm still doing a lot of research, trying to find as much as I possibly can in the game. I know a lot of you have already found out more information. I'm still digging through a lot of texts. I still haven't found every piece of literature that's available, I believe, in Inazuma. I'm not sure. I've 100%ed all the islands already, by the way, but you know, there's still little things that I have yet to dive deeper into. But I just wanted to bring you my thoughts on how it's going to be in the future in regards to future characters that we can actually pull for, you know, with the primo gems that we save up, our precious primo gems, pulling for characters so that we can use them in the game to play as them. You know, Kujo Sara is another one. So Kujo Sara, when we first encountered her, it wasn't really a direct conflict. She's a reasonable person, so I can actually see us getting along with with Kujo Sara right away. But the Electro Archon was out for our life. She was gonna use her Muso no Hitotachi on us, and she said she will strike twice. Now there's a lot there that I also want to talk about, but I don't think I'm gonna get to it, unfortunately, as 2.1 comes out in just a few hours. Not the entire version, but I mean the trailer is going to come out, and I assume the trailer is actually going to be a lot of spoiler heavy. Version 2.0 trailer, very spoiler heavy. They showed off all the characters, they showed off basically everything that was going to happen. I have a comment that I'm going to show off right here. It was basically him talking about my reaction to basically my fight against the Electro Archon, and I guess when Sango no Miya Kokomi came on, it said something along the lines of like, oh, I came here to watch a reaction, but you already know what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you see a trailer, and the trailer shows you everything. I was hoping that the trailer would have kept some stuff out, which I'm glad they did. They kept out the fact that Kazuha and Beidou come in the middle of that fight that they showed in the second half of the trailer. That one, yeah, you know. The trailer, I'm okay with them showing more of the landscape, the upcoming 2 banners and whatnot, but then, you know, 2.0 showed it all. Literally everything except for Kazuha and Beidou coming at the end. That was all they didn't show off. If they had shown that, then there really would have been no surprise. Or I guess the Electro Archon fight, they didn't show that either. I mean, they kind of showed parts of it, but you know, you couldn't really put that together like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight her, It was obvious though that we were gonna fight the Electro Archon, though that was not a surprise. Like I said, I did get spoiled that a fight was going to happen, but it didn't fall out of the realm of expectations because I was expecting it to happen. So it was not like, oh my god, I got spoiled, I'm fighting the Electro Archon, why was I spoiled, I didn't want to know that. No, I'm not. That's not how it's gonna be with me. That spoiler was nothing. Yeah, once again, for like the 90th time, back to the topic that I was talking about. What are we to expect in the future of future characters? Because we know that we're in conflict with the Electro Archon. How are we gonna pacify them for them to join our party? Because that's the theme that's been going on. These characters that have been joining us on our adventure, characters that we've been pulling for, are characters, you know, that basically are friends to us, that we can go on adventures with. Zhongli called us a dear friend. I like Zhongli a lot, you know, despite me not trusting him as much now. But again, you know, I told you that he did say he made that contract beforehand, not after the fact, so he's respecting the fact of the contract to end all contracts, but that was part of that contract. So for now, I'll forgive Zhongli. Venti is the one I've been calling a snake because he must know a lot more, and he's lying straight to our face. So I cannot wait until we confront Venti. But yeah, in the future, regarding future Archons, future characters that we'll be in direct conflict with, it'll be very interesting. How are we gonna get Scaramouche to join us in our adventure? So that's what I'm saying. Like, is Genshin Impact going to branch off in another direction? Like, it will be very interesting if we get the Ball Raiden Shogun character quest and we're still in conflict with her, and basically it would allow us to play as her and only her, maybe like a backstory. I doubt this is gonna happen though. I mean, the game is most generally gonna give us like Traveler meets the character, and we basically experience like a character exposition. Yoimiya's story quest was solely a character exposition, see how she behaves, see how she acts with the people, how people see her. Same thing with Ayaka, although Ayaka's was the better story quest. Unfortunately, you know, they put more attention on Ayaka's story quest than Yoimiya's story quests, you know, which I felt was unfair. But yeah, I'm just talking about in the future now. How are they gonna do things? Are they gonna like drive off in a different direction now? Like, let's change things up a bit. I feel like we've been using the same formula for a long time. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I really don't know what to tell you. That's really what I wanted to bring to your attention. how the character banners are related to what's currently happening in the story, because that's how they release the characters. We get introduced to a character, then we get to pull for them later. Toma's coming out in the future. Yayamiko's coming out in the future as well. Baiju, who's most likely a Dendro Catalyst user, maybe a 5-star, he's coming out in the later future when Dendro finally becomes a playable character and whatnot. That's really all I wanted to say in regards to characters. Will MiHoYo now finally move forward with the decision of like keeping characters in direct conflict with us, but we still get to pull for them? And it'll be a very nice twist things in regards to the character story quest. But again, I don't really see it. I think the Electro Archon will be pacified, and of course, as you pacify the Electro Archon, it follows suit with her direct in command, Kujo Sara. She's gonna be like, I always follow you where you go, Electro Archon. If you feel like this is the right thing to do, to join hands with the Traveler and fight against this other mysterious enemy force that has brought a problem to our land, then let's do it. Yeah, it's the Fatui. Somehow the Fatui's gonna come in there, wreck stuff up, and it's all hell will break loose. So something's gonna happen, something major is gonna happen in 2.1. That's my high expectations for 2.1 right there. Something major in the story. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have. I want you guys to think about that as well. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know what you think in regards to what I said. You know, it all boils down to the character relationships in the story. That's how we've been doing the polls lately. That's how when the characters are released. You know, early in the game it was different, but you know, Mona's our friend, Chi-Chi's our friend, we're nice to her, she's nice to us. We have, who else is in that standard banner? Keqing. Keqing speaks very nice of us as well. You know, there's a lot of ships as well with the Traveler and Keqing. You know, Ningguang is awesome. None of these characters were in direct conflict with us. None of them hate us. None of them want to kill us. None of them, you know, they're all friends. They're all our friends. So how are they going to do this moving forward? Is it going to now follow a different trend where they don't exactly have to be our friends, but we still get to learn about them? Again, it'll be very interesting. Like I said, it'll be very interesting if we get the character story quest for Baal, and it's basically just learning more about her on her own, and the Traveler is not a part of it. I don't see how that's going to play out, because we're the Traveler. We have to be there experiencing with them, learning more about them while we're with them. That's how a character story quest works. We need to have Paimon there talking and, you know, having this back and forth dialogue. Whatever happens in that story, it gets resolved, and it's like we become better friends with them. That's how the character story quests have been working. If they're going to change that up, it would be very interesting, but at this point, that's all I wanted to talk about. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been BlackwingKei. You guys are awesome. I'm probably not premiering any of these videos. They're probably just being uploaded as is. If you made it this far, once again, I know I made this into a long video. Yet again, it's just that when I talk, I can't stop talking. I'm sorry, guys. Again, if you made it this far, you are awesome. Guys, remember to hit that like button. Dislike if you disliked it. Let me know in the comments down below once again what you thought about this, what your thoughts on these character banners are, and how they're related to the story and what's, you know, the current events going on. And also, subscribe if you're new here, and look forward to more Genshin Impact content coming soon. The gameplay content is coming out, guys. Don't worry about that. So yeah, I guess with that said, I don't have to make the whole how to pacify a god theory, because I basically just threw it in here with the expectations. There's not much I have to say. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's BlackwingKei, and I'm signing out. Bye.